wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, all the beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the world of HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX. But of course, before we delve into that specific, I want to take a moment and think about mountain climbers. Y'all saw it in the thumbnail, but there's a reason why I put that as it as well. They face steep terrains, unpredictable weather, and numerous challenges, but do they give up? No. Every mountaintop is within reach if you just keep climbing. Just like every mountain is within reach if you just keep putting the foot in front of the other foot. Keep on stepping. So just like them, our journey in the crypto world might seem daunting at times, but remember, folks, every success story starts with the first step. The path to the peaks is filled with hurdles, but the determination, knowledge, and the right spirit, we can conquer it. So gear up. Let's embark on this journey together, folks. It's an exciting journey. Let's learn, grow, and take that crucial first step towards reaching the top. And of course, folks, let's let the adventure begin. So with that energy rolling, have you ever noticed how kids approach challenges, right? With a sense of wonder, curiosity, even a dash of fearlessness, right? They don't see failures, they see opportunities. And I think a lot of people get caught up in this preconceived notion that a failure is a bad thing, right? But again, it's a learning opportunity. And just like when you were a kid, you didn't see a failure as a failure. You just saw it as an opportunity to do better next time. And so I know a lot of people are out there in this world of crypto and they're new. Welcome to the world of crypto. And if y'all are new to the channel and you have not subscribed, or if you're returning to the channel, check to make sure that you are subscribed as well. But folks, if you haven't had the chance, it's that same notion, same concept that I want us all to channel. I want us to get back to being a kid-like spirit, never giving up, continuing to persevere. And I want us to channel that today. That's what this whole conversation's mainly going to be about. The crypto world is much like a playground, right? There's slides, there's ropes, there's things that can get yourself hurt up on. There's things that can go too high or may seem too high, or swings that go too fast. But isn't that what makes a playground fun, y'all? Isn't that what makes it exciting? Now, you don't have to partake in every piece of the playground, just like you don't have to partake in every adventure in the world of crypto either. I know there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be presented in front of you that you may have never seen before in the past, but that's part of the whole process. You need to take the time to understand if it's even something that you want to do. Do you want to participate in it? Do you want to actually play on that playground? And that's what this whole discussion is going to be about. So a lot of the times whenever you actually sometimes do this, right? Think of the last time you faced a challenge, right? Like, did you just stand in front of it, scratching your head, wondering, what? Or did you take a deep breath and tackle it head on? Because let's be honest, nobody remembers the time they gave up. But everyone remembers the thrill of overcoming their fears, their accomplishments, their putting the mind to it and actually accomplishing that goal. And that's kind of the beauty of all of this, folks. That's the beauty of the journey, especially in the realm of HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX. It's not just about the destination. It's about every little adventure, lesson, and memory that we make along the way. And again, I know people are thinking, what if I fail, right? What if this all goes to zero? What if I'm wrong? And of course, let me just tell you a little secret, folks. Failure is just success in progress. I know you all have heard the stories of, Walt Disney, for example. I think he's one of the better known folks, or even you could say things like KFC, the founder of KFC, the Colonel, for example. He had a mission, he had a task, and he set forth, and everyone thought he was crazy. The food wasn't good, his idea was terrible. And years later, he actually completed the task. Not only the setback that he had of no one believing him, but actually completing it. And now they're worldwide, globally, and everyone has heard about him. So every setback definitely is a setup for a comeback, y'all. Remember, The moon has phases. Remember that it never fails to shine, so why should you? Let me say what's up to some beautiful folks in the chat real quick. Let me say hello to all the folks who are here with us, tuning in right now. We got 151. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Alan Fizme, ATX, how you doing? Fire intro, South Texas Crypto. Appreciate you, my love. My dude, my G, my friend. 10 Top saying, what up, Hexican? Lazy Hexican saying, hey, I love it. Brewmaster Jerry, less beer now, more beer later. Buy those cheap t-shirts. Thanks for all the great content. Thank you so much, Brewmaster. Apprehensively says, what's up, ATX? What's up, Hexicans? Hello, Gloria, the pothead. Benny Davis, thanks for all you do. Hello. Thank you for all you do as well, Benny. A Wild SJ appears. Yes, you sure did, a Wild SJ. Much love to you as well. I can't wait to see a Wild SJ. In fact, I can't wait to see everyone on the PulseChain tour. They're coming to the Austin area. November 4th, I believe, is the date. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, if y'all want to partake in it or meet up and hang out and come join, go to pulsechaintour.com/events. Find the one that's local in your area. They got a few stops left to do for the remainder of their year. And it's been an exciting journey and trek so far while they're doing it. So appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not sharing South Texas Crypto. I appreciate that. Yes, FYI, chat not appearing on screen. Not sure if you're sharing or not. I love it. South Texas, appreciate the heads up on that for sure. Normally I do actually share the chat, so quite funny on that one. But again, folks, let's go back and embrace the fun. Let's embrace the fun of the unknown. There's many things that are going to be happening in the near-term future within the world of crypto. We've seen recently, as a matter of fact, that crypto or Cointelegraph decided to, I guess it was an ex-employee or something happened, and they decided to share false context saying that the Bitcoin spot ETF had been approved. And my goodness, the rally that came off that news alone got people hyped. And if that's not kind of a or a little idea of what's going to be happening in the very near term future for this particular item and asset, again, I just don't know what is for you, in that regard. Because whenever I saw Bitcoin actually do this, and we can pull up a brief chart on this actually as well, as a matter of fact. So let me just pull that on over here. So Bitcoin actually came through. And this is Bitcoin yesterday. I mean, it literally went, this is yesterday when the news happened. It did a 10% move. Folks, that is a massive, massive move for what is one of the larger cryptos known out there. It's the largest by market cap in terms of that, but it's also just the most stable. It's been around the longest. A lot of people have been involved in it. And that 10% move happened fast. And I mean, unfortunately, several people were shorting Bitcoin because of this little notion that it could come back down, got liquidated. A lot of people went long up here thinking that the Bitcoin ETF had been approved. That went down. They got liquidated. So and this is actually the whole story of how it all actually ended up happening. Cointelegraph went through and shared a false Bitcoin ETF news. So they apologized to the reader, of course, as you can see. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can fix anything that happened. People absolutely got wrecked on this one move for that very short-term mindset. So keep that in mind. For those people who did have the upset or liquidation process happen, this is part of it, folks. Again, it's part of it. Keep in mind, money can always be made up again. So don't do something stupid like wreck yourself or end your life or hurt anybody or hurt yourself. Do a simple thing of money, folks. Please don't let that be the reason. I know we have plenty of mental health items, and we can discuss that in more details on later streams, but you can see an internal investigation revealed that our standard procedure for posting breakdown news on social media, whereas sources are required to be verified before posting, was not followed. So you can see at 1:17 UTC time, they put this whole message that went out, and this actually happened through a Telegram channel in the beginning, is how it actually first started. So this actually went real quick as to how it all happened. Breaking: SEC approves iShare Bitcoin spot ETF. Wow, right? And says you know, you get all these people like, you sure? Maybe scam. You sure? Check it out. And then people are saying, yes, it's true. Look at the BTC chart. And again, looking at the BTC chart, if you were just paying attention to that, you would think, okay, cool. That could be actually true news. Is it true? You sure? We're not seeing that. And people are talking about the Bloomberg terminal not popping up on here as well. And you can see many people were going through and saying, let us know where you got it from. We're trying to look for the source. And again, just all these different things just kept on going and going and going. It is 6 minutes after our post, though. I think it's fake news, right? And you get plenty of people starting to retweet from there. So this actually became a whole bunch of stuff because that employee one reposted the text from the Telegram channel into a Slack channel. And so it actually went over to the Slack channel in an effort to publish the developments as soon as possible. Employee two posted the report to X without prior confirmation. So you got employee one posting Telegram and Slack, and then you have employee two coming through posting to Twitter and X. Readers reported the issue to Cointelegraph via all the information that they possibly could. Employee one was flagged as the source, but could not be located. Employee three from Cointelegraph edited the messages on X or Twitter to clarify that the information was unconfirmed. Breaking, SEC approves. And again, this is saying reportedly, so you can see what it said before. They posted this saying SEC approves. They said reportedly on this one. So they tried fixing it. At that point in time, it was by far too late. You can see we're already almost 1 hour in, and people want this to happen. You can see how fast it went. Guys, that is absolutely crazy. From the time of, well, I guess it was 1, so this is almost 3 hours later almost, but from the time that figure 1 started, almost 3 hours later, we're here now in figure 8 talking about deleting, so on and so forth. After receiving confirmation, Cointelegraph retracted the initial tweet and issued the following statement: we apologize for the tweet, the dissemination of inaccurate information. So, guys, they're human. They made a mistake. They had a flaw. That flaw cost several people plenty of money, I'm sure. So I want to remind everyone that don't take all news that you hear as truth. Verify. It's the trust but verify situation. It's cool to have an idea and you can trust that it's legitimate, but you still want to verify with typically 3 sources. We talked about this when PulseChain first launched. You don't want someone to say PulseChain's out and then not have anything else from Twitter, Telegram, or anywhere else saying that it's real. That seems like a scam. So keep that in mind. Just, you know, whenever you're actually going through and doing this. So again, let's embrace the fun of getting back to the unknown, right? Celebrate every small victory. And most importantly, remind yourself that every giant leap starts with a simple step. So whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or a newbie just starting out, know that the journey is unique, valuable, and filled with endless potential and a lot of fun. Folks, it is fun. This is part of it. You got to change your mentality in this world in order to make it make sense. There's times where you see these prices start pumping and you want to be elated and excited, and then you see the prices dip and you want to, and you're sad and you're depressed and you're upset and you're angry, and you want all these things to be a flat emotion, folks. You want there to be a solid base level that you can hit. That base level is what you're looking for. So that way, when pumps happen, you're excited but not overexcited. When dips happen, you may be upset but not over upset. You never want to put yourself into a position that you end up getting yourself wrecked. So get out there, chase the dreams, and of course, make the magic happen, folks. After all, the world is but a canvas to the imagination. Paint it with all the colors, everything that you want, with an unyielding spirit. And remember, in the end, it's not about how many steps it took, but the stories you gathered along the way, the people that you were meet, the bonds that you were able to form, the friendships that you were able to forge. All of these things matter because that is all a part of this journey, y'all. That is everything. That is what we look for. So keep that in mind, folks, because there are plenty of items that are here to test you, to make sure that you're going to make it happen. Absolutely, yes. Looking forward to chilling with you again. Wild SJ, looking forward to you chilling. Looking forward to chilling with you again. Got to see her right before she flew out and got to take care of her kitty. Got the RV parked at my house for a while, which was awesome. The PulseChain RV, which is really cool. And again, her kitty Sophia is just an absolute doll. So appreciate you, Wild SJ. Yep, we got Firefighting 82 say just woke up. Is it 2025 yet? Dude, that's what everyone like. If you could just get past all this, buy your bag right now at these prices, at these prices, at these prices, because these prices are looking damn good across the board on all of it. So whenever you are there, if you come in 2025, I guarantee we're going to be in a, I can't guarantee nothing because the future's not for certain, but you're going to probably most likely be in a much, much more positive impact on your portfolio with where you're sitting. South Texas Crypto says, I'm going to try to make it out there with a friend to the Austin meetup. Oh, dude, that'd be so cool. South Texas Crypto would love to meet you. Benny Davis, glad you popped in. Yeah, of course. Hex Glenn, how are you, my friend? EHEX with a nice move in the last 24 hours, up to 2035. Seems only to be one big buyer at the moment, but nice to see the green pop. Yeah, and so let's talk a little bit about kind of what ended up happening as well. If we actually go to Twitter on this one, or X, or whatever you decide to call it for the day, you can see over here on the side that I forgot that I'm not sharing the screen. Whoops. You can see over here that there was actually a couple of whales on October 16th, which was yesterday, who actually came through and bought up two big purchases for $200,000. The first one was $98,135, got 13,200,000 hex. The second one was $98,000 and got 12.8 million hex. So these two purchases alone caused this little pump that you're actually seeing right here. And again, oops, this is weekly. Let me go back and switch this to daily. So this is the daily right here. It caused that nice green candle wick all the way back up here. And in fact, something that I had shared with the Patreon peeps as well is this fun concept that the price has actually reached where we were. If you actually were to zoom in on here and just go back, you can see this one candle alone basically negated all of the last 56 days from the time that it was last at these prices, folks. So had you had bought here and did nothing for 56 days, you're even right here. Had you had not and you bought down here, you're actually positive on it. So keep that in mind on making these decisions, because you saw a candle like that happen. But what happens, and you'll see this as well. Let me actually flip this over back to weekly. Or monthly works. You can see a candle like this happen. Let me get rid of some of this extra stuff where you just get massive candles. And again, this is on a monthly here. So each candle that you're seeing is a month, but there are times where a whale can step in. And if they're waiting for that bullish news of Bitcoin ETF, which we've seen has been a potential factor in their decision, you can see a purchase like this where it goes up 9x within a month, folks. And again, within the span of that short period of time, 200 days, we'll go back to the 6-month period of time. That is a 29x within 6 months. So folks, just imagine that we do start seeing this happen, where you start seeing 29x's become a thing, where you start seeing 10x's, 5x's. I don't really know what your number is going to be, but what's funny about this is if we just break this down and we're to measure and go up 29x, well, that would put us in the ballpark of 10 cents again, folks. And to me, that is the number that I've been waiting for at this point in time. Reason why is we had the July 31st incident that went through, and we already know what happened on July 31st. The SEC came after. So if we can break back above, I mean, heck, start getting, or I'm sorry, that was the PulseChain V3 announcement. That's what I meant to say. PulseChain testnet V3 announcement. If we can start getting back up in this range right here, where we went from pennies down here up to 12 cents up here, that is the range that we're looking for. And it seems like it could be possible here as well in the near future if we get that pump. Even just getting back up to the 12 cent level, 10 cent level again. Yeah, nice little 29x that you're seeing, right? The nice little 29x in price. And that's where I would think we could potentially be going. Y'all have seen it happen where these candles move fast, folks. Again, if we break this down in a weekly, you will see when these candles starts going and whales start stepping in, usually they come through and they start pumping and then they keep on buying. Usually a whale steps in and they don't just have a little bit of capital that they deploy right here and you get a little bit of pump. No, they have the capital that is right here more capital to keep going, more capital to keep going. People are going to start selling off. They have more capital to keep pushing. People are going to start selling off. They have more capital to keep pushing. A whale can truly influence where the price can go. So if we're starting to see that people react to the Bitcoin spot ETF news, and that is the reaction where you start seeing things like this happen, this could be a nice little move where you see a 29x move within the span of however long, even if you took 6 months, as we've described in the past, which would conveniently happen to be at the Bitcoin halvening. By the way, if you didn't know that, Bitcoin halvening is in 2024 in April, as a matter of fact. So if we were to, let me just get rid of that little thing real quick. Cool. April of 2024. Cool. I'm just trying to measure it out to where you can actually see what a 29x could do and what it looks like as well. So 29x all the way out to, we'll say March. Is right about 6 months from there. 180, 160. Cool. Let's go with there. So around the April timeframe, could you hold, if you were to buy right now, for a 29x potential? I know I could. I know I do. Something that I do every single day. In fact, I want y'all to join me along on the Pulse Challenge. Something that I'm doing is a $5 investment every single day into HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX on the Ethereum network. I'm getting all 4 of the pillars of the Richard Hart ecosystem to make a solid foundation, to make sure that my future is secured and I'm not messing around trying to move something in a short-term sight vision, trying to swap some of my pillar tokens for something that is fucking pebbles. I don't even know. Definitely not pillars, but I would just be wise to what you are looking at buying, the future that is, and what could potentially be. Crypto Jake says, smash the like and subscribe. Got myself a big bag of ink, not financial advice. Much love to you, Crypto Jake. I'm a fan of ink as well. In fact, I do earn ink every single day through yield farming on the PulseX network. So again, to those of y'all who want to earn some additional passive income, you have a few different ways. One of them being the PulseX side. So what you can do is you can actually become a liquidity provider on V2. Make sure that if you are providing liquidity on PulseX, you're on V2 to make sure that you get paid. What happened, just to break it down to anyone who may not be familiar with it, V1 does not pay the liquidity pair fee. They don't pay out that fee. What happens instead is that fee is distributed to something called a buy and burn function within PulseX. So this is actually all this stuff is happening right now where 445 billion PulseX has been burned. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you are on V1, all of the fees will not go to you, but instead will go to the buy and burn. Make sure that if you are on liquidity for V2, you are PulseX, you're on V2. You can add liquidity for any pairs that you like. It can be Pulse, PulseX. It can be any combination of things that you want. And what's beneficial about this as well is if you go over to the info section and just go over to the pools, you can see exactly what the LP fees might end up being beneficial for you. So I'm going to let this load here in just a second. Just whenever it decides to take its sweet old time. Well, while it's waiting to load, let's just go ahead and look back over here on the good old side of PulseX. So this is the incentive token. This is what we were just talking about a moment ago. The incentive token at one point in time did in fact reach $80 on this one, $83. Yeah, $80 exactly on that one. So right now the current price is actually below $1, right at 93 cents. So even if you see some potential in a 5x, 10x, 20x, even almost a damn near 100x on the incentive token, this could be a phenomenal entry price at this point in time. One thing I will say, just looking at the chart, is I'm not really seeing solid bases get formed. Every time we've tried forming solid bases, we broke below. So we really want to find that bottom. We really just want to find a base, whether it's here, whether it's here, whether it's wherever, because the base is what you want to bounce off and then actually look to continue to go forward. So we've tried a few times where it actually bounces off, goes up, bounces off, goes up, bounces off, goes up, continues to be suppressed, continues to be suppressed, continues to be suppressed. So what we're really wanting to see is a full-on bounce off a level of support, not breaking lower lows on this one, which is kind of what happened during all of these. These are breaking lower lows, meaning that it's not quite ready for the potential to be. Now, if you can get back above this line right here even and actually flip it as support, so ideally you would pump up, you would retest it and flip up, that would be a phenomenal move to a nice little bear signal. We've seen what our bullish signal, we've seen what happened here where it had that happen. Again, didn't quite push out of it, got the bear sentiment once again. So we really need this to like hold support. And I guess we don't need anything, but if you're looking at the chart and when you're actually looking to make purchases, that is what I'm looking at right there. On the PulseChain side, we can see we actually had a nice little pump as well, just looking at the PulseChain side on this one. From that news alone, again, delay on this one from PulseChain to from Bitcoin to Pulse, we had the nice little pump happening within the ecosystem that is. Now, again, we are forming on this one currently higher lows. So we got here, and again, we got here. So if we keep this trend up, ideally higher highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. That's what we're looking for on that one. And again, I have some items drawn up on here, so I don't want to really focus on this too much, but that's what we're looking at on the PulseChain side. What was I looking at a second ago? I am drawing a blank as to, the PulseX side. Goodness gracious. Okay, cool. So what you want to do is you actually want to come in here to PulseX. If you are wanting to see becoming a liquidity provider or anything like that, you actually want to go over to this little tab, click on info, click on pools, and you'll see where you can provide liquidity. These are the current APRs. You can sort them by high to low. Keep in mind, pay attention to a couple of things. Just because it has a high APR for the reward doesn't necessarily mean they have enough volume on this one to actually really benefit at this at all. This one's got $6 of liquidity. Not really looking that bullish if you ask me on that regard, but if you're trying to find some good ones to partake in, something that you can actually benefit in, what you really want to see is the LP fee rewards or the volume, because either of these two items is kind of what you get paid on, and you're paid a portion of this LP fee based upon your percentage of the pool. So another way of saying it on this one here, for example, if we look at Pulse DI, for example, currently the APR is showing to be at 7.72% for a 7-day performance based on the amount of volume over that time period. In the last 24 hours, there was $1.6 million in volume during this pair. So the Pulse DI pair had $1.6 million in volume. Out of those trading between Pulse and DI, there was a reward of $36.88. This is what you need to know your percentages, so that way you can calculate how much you get paid. Now, the LP fee is paid in both the assets that you are providing liquidity for. So in this case, if it's Pulse DI, you would be paid in Pulse and DI. That is what you would actually be earning as an LP reward. Just to keep that in mind, so those of y'all who may not be familiar with how the liquidity providing works. So if I go into add liquidity, I want to make sure, again, I'm on V2, folks. Make sure you are on V2. Please, once again, V2, say it with me, V2, put it in the chat, V2, right? Do something. I appreciate that. So keep this in mind when you're actually breaking this down. If you were to come in here, and you can see if I come up with, we'll just say 4 million pulse, I'll just say 40 million pulse, just so I can get a better idea of this. Out of the 40 million pulse with this pair, that means I have to put up equal amounts on both sides. I have to put up $1,700 worth of pulse, which would be 40 million at this time is what the value is. And I have to put up $1,700 worth of DI. They both come together for a total of 3,400. In this scenario, that would give me 0.64% of the pool. Now, again, why is this important? Well, it's important because, again, when we were breaking down those numbers moments ago on this pair for this particular one, I need to know what I would get paid on this amount. So what I would do is I would take this 3675, which is the volume over the last 24 hours, and I do that times the percentage of my pool. So I had 0.64% as my portion of what was in that pool. So I would do 3672 times 0.0064. You just move the decimal place over 2 spots. Let me actually see if I can pull this up a different way where I can actually almost kind of have them going together and I don't have to go back and forth between the pairs. So let me actually pull it up on a separate tab. Uno momento, por favor. All right, cool. So now we can actually go back and forth. So again, if you were doing the math on this, this would mean that by having $3,400 within the pool, or for liquidity, I would end up having 0.64% of the entire pool. So if I'm trying to calculate how much I get paid each day, or within 24 hours, should I say, I would do 3,672 times 0.0064, because when you take decimal and your percentage, you just take that and you move it over 2 spots. Okay, so it'd be times 0.0064. So that would mean I get paid $23 a day by having $3,400 of liquidity in there. Now, how long does it take you to make up $3,400 in liquidity at this current point in time, making $23 a day? So in 147 days, assuming it all stayed the same, everything was the same, I'm just breaking this down, you would end up netting $3,400. So in less than half a year, you would have not only the liquidity that you provided and all the fees that you've made, but you would also be able to extract this back out. Now, when you provide liquidity, folks, something to keep in mind, a fun fact, is there something called impermanent loss. If you're not familiar with impermanent loss, I don't want to stress too much on it and get too crazy with it, but ideally is saying that if one item pumps and the other doesn't, you're left with the one token or more of the token that did not pump. So be careful when it comes to liquidity providing. It's not just as simple as it may appear from first glance. Take the time to understand, do some test transactions so you really get a better understanding of how it works, providing liquidity, how it works earning fees, how do you claim those fees, do you have to do anything, do you have to earn it, do you have to claim it, all this stuff. Guys, it's the 5 P's that we always talk about on the channel. Proper preparation, say it with me, folks, prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Simple as that. Appreciate that on that one as well. I believe Alan Fizmays, thank you so much. ATX with the wordplay. A wild SJ saying, what a speech. Much love to you. Juicy prices, absolutely. Crypto compassion. What up, my friend? Lee, remember, noobs, you won't have this much supply of HEX again. We've experienced a mega surge of supply the past year and some change. Once the supply is off the market, Godspeed to you. That is facts. Mr. Chuck says, once the BTF, BTF, can you imagine? I'm sure someone's going to create a coin now called BTF for fun. But once the BTC ETH ETF and futures happen, do you think crypto will ever experience the lows we had this bear market again? Like, if we sell the top, we'll never be able to buy back lower. Yeah, ideally, that's 100% the case. I mean, if you just look back at, I mean, heck, we'll just use BTC as this example on it in the past, but tell me, like, I'll pull it up and I'll just say, tell me where would you buy back in? Like, BTC is always the example because it's been around the longest, but where would you buy back in? You got the bull cycle top, you get a bear market that comes through, and then you get the rally back up again. Now, again, these cycles were a little shorter back in the day with Bitcoin being brand new, for example, but once people started figuring everything out, things started getting a little bit more extended. So instead of 500 days, it went to 700. Then from 700, it went to almost 1,000. And then from 1,000, it looks like it could be going to 1,100 and some change going forward. So keep that in mind with what you're doing on these. But ideally, what you're seeing is once something reaches that bull market high and you actually get a chance to sell somewhere up here along the way, and it comes back down, most of the time it does not retrace back to the level at which it had the previous all-time high in the last cycle. Now, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we kind of flipped that script up a little bit, only because if you actually look here, so you had the Bitcoin halving in 2016, and then you got the bull market that happened up to 2017. From there, we actually hit a high of, we'll say, $20,000. This is the first time Bitcoin had actually had it happen where it actually came back down and retested the previous high for where it was. So keep this in mind. These are all just things to know of as well. But this is the only first time it's happened. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen again. What could end up being a thing is we could see it easily just rally all the way up here. We'll just say get up to 100,000, whatever the number ends up being, and we could potentially see it come back down. Now, if it held true, then we would not see it come back down to $69,000 because that was the previous all-time high, right? So that's where you were looking. What did that do? Oh, cool. I can switch between different ones. How do I go back? I'm sorry. I'm just figuring stuff. What did I even do? How do I? I'm just pushing my space bar and it's flipping through. Yeah, this is very curious. I don't know. Can you go? How do you go backwards? Nope. All right. Well, I don't know what I did. I'm gonna have to figure out. Maybe y'all can tell me what spacebar does on Trading View. Um, that's not even the price. What is going on? BTC. There you go. Cool. And I just go to the all-time history index. Perfect. All right. That was weird. Maybe y'all can tell me what spacebar does. Clearly, it switches between different charts. Maybe I just need to find a way to put the charts together. But what we were just talking about was if we end up doing the same thing, ideally we would get the pump. We would end up somewhere here or wherever we end up coming back down and not retesting 69,000 and bouncing back off again. That would be so freaking bullish to crypto in general. So we're going to find out because we could end up breaking through. We might end up coming back down, but could we see these lows again? I don't know. I doubt. I highly doubt. Could we see these lows down here? Like definitely, probably not, right? Like, so yeah, usually when something makes a new all-time high, it's very tough for it to come back. So hopefully that helps answer the question, Mr. Jake. We got or Mr. Chuck, my bad. Crypto Jake says PulseX completely burned 2.34% of the supply. Folks, that is so bullish. That is so freaking crazy. My God. Yeah, that's wild. And again, to break it down, so PulseX is a deflationary asset. The reason why that matters is the PulseX is a deflationary asset, meaning that so far 484 billion PulseX has already been burned, or 2.34% of the total supply. I like that they already do the math. Freaking GoPulse is always changing up and switching up little things here and there, but that is so cool and convenient. So you don't even have to bother trying to figure out the math yourself. Again, there's only ever 21 trillion PulseX token created. That was from launch, and there will be never any more PulseX after that. It's only going to go down, becoming deflationary, meaning we already know what happens with supply and demand. The less supply there is, the more demand there is, the higher the price it is. That's just simple economics type deal. So far, 484 billion has been burned. If you break this down in terms of USD, it's really freaking cool because $5.5 million not only has it been burned, it was also bought before it was burned. So it was actually bought on the market, burned, never to be seen again, meaning pump the price, burn it because no one actually has it, no one owns it, so no one can sell it later. So it's literally someone coming in. They call it the drunken sailor, the drunken Michael Saylor. Right. And so Michael Saylor is coming in, just buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying, taking leverages, doing all this stuff, buying. He's eventually going to sell. What this is not going to do is sell because it's literally burned from existence. No longer exists. It's sent to a null address, meaning no one has access to it. A null address is a 0.00000000000 wallet address type deal, right? So keep that in mind. Yeah. Let me just kind of read through the chat real fast, wrap it up real quick with everyone on the stream, and yeah, let me see real quick. Yeah. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, Crypto Jake, wild, right? Access Alive, fire content today, ATX. Thank you so much, Access Alive. Much love to you, my friend. Let them know where the opportunity is. I definitely do all the time. You do as well, my friend. If y'all aren't already, subscribe to Access Alive. And support access as well. Hello, Cookie to Takalata. How are you doing? Crypto Truth, DCA baby, hex.com for life, facts on facts. Yeah, V2, guys, put it there. V2. If you were providing liquidity and you were just trying to earn fees, providing liquidity, V2. I know it gets a little bit confusing, but that's why we repeat ourselves so many times. If you are wanting to partake in some of the farms, which is an additional way of earning some additional yield, you want to be on V1. I know it's very confusing, but if you want to provide a farm where you actually take those LP tokens that you set up and you move it into this farm, you were able to then take that and earn some additional yield. Now, at this point in time, you will not be earning any fees for providing liquidity or setting up those tokens in an LP fashion. You are only paid incentive token based upon the APR of where this is. The rest of the fees, as mentioned previously, instead of going to you, are sent to the buy and burn. So keep that in mind. If you are wanting to set up a farm, do it on V1, because why? V2 does not have any farms yet. However, just like we check this all the time, there is now a section for V2 farms, meaning we could potentially be seeing V2 farms come on PulseX very soon. And what does that mean overall? That means you would get paid not only for providing liquidity and fees, you would also get paid in the incentive token and earn both. So keep that in mind. If this sucker turns on, could be potentially a great way of earning additional income that we have within our ecosystem. So I wanted to share that as well, because we talked about V2. I wanted to share what V1 was. Get it and got it. Hello, Crypto Stylist. Hello. Hey, Crypto Stylist, I did send you a message. I know the first comment I actually pulled up. I sent you a message, Crypto Stylist. Check your DMs. Crypto Jake, what's up? 5Ps, exactly. It is the reason why we should hold a moon bag. Facts. And what's up, everybody? Making money to DCA. This is the effing opportunity of a life. Burn, mother effer, burn. Facts on facts, Heximus. Crypto burn on fleek. Daddy Hexler, wagwan. Been a while since I've jumped in on live. You're killing it, fam. Appreciate you. Big love. Appreciate you as well. Positive momentum. And Crypto Gains Club in the house. Crypto Truth. Guys, what is up? Much love to every single one of y'all. You rock ATX, PowerPoint God, Simplify. Hoorah, right? Thanks for all you do for the community. So, guys, as we wrap up today's session and as we wrap up the whole conversation and this whole stream and everything like that, I want to leave you with one last thought, and that is every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? But the beauty is the journey, and that is our story. That's what we're going to be able to share. There's always going to be more opportunities that arise, more things that present themselves in front of you, and every end is a new start. So keep that in mind. I always like to reference our life as a book. And what I mean by that is what's happening in your life right now is merely a chapter or a page in your book. I don't mean it in the sense of, we just read it and move on. No, what I mean is this chapter in your life is going through certain items and setbacks, but because we're alive, we're also going to suffer, folks. That is part of living. Living allows us to experience all of that. That is what you want. You want to get the fullest that you can in life in general. So keep going through it. As we part ways today, I challenge y'all. Face your mountains, folks. Face your mountain. If you're stuck within an obstacle, don't just shrug your head and shoulders. Figure out a way to fix it. Figure out a way to overcome that hurdle. Figure out a way to overcome that obstacle, because every twist and turn along the way is but a mere portion of this whole journey that we call life. And it's a freaking crazy thing. So thank you for joining me in today's adventure, folks. Until we meet again, keep on climbing, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.